A special election was set on Thursday to fill 3 seats recently vacated by lawmakers. Oil City Representative Hoppy Hopkins, who was buried on Tuesday, died of complications from bone cancer. Shreveport Representative Cedric Glover this week moved into the mayor's office in that city, and Senator Don Cravens is the new chief executive in Opelousas. The date for the special election for all 3 seats is February 24th, with a runoff set for March 31st if necessary. There is a chance that other than a Democrat or Republican, you could see a libertarian candidate on any of those ballots. The country's largest third party is growing in Louisiana. The thrill of victory, the highest of highs for a politician on election night. The voters have spoken. But while the lights, cameras, and action are not focused on the losers at this moment, there's a group of them who say there's another message to be read in the election tea leaves. They are libertarians, and they say they're often misunderstood.
One of the worst is that the libertarians care only about sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Attorney Mike Wolf is the secretary of the Louisiana Libertarian Party.
In general, I like to summarize our views as being in favor of limited constitutional government, free market economics, and personal responsibility for life choices and decisions.
So why are you a libertarian?
I am a libertarian because neither Democrat nor Republican parties have lived to my expectations.
Since the party is based on the protection of individual freedoms with emphasis on the individual, you really can't point out a classic libertarian. But Samir Zaitoun comes close. His run this year as the third candidate in the race for state insurance commissioner was based on the promise to do away with the job as an elective position. Appearing before the Baton Rouge Press Club in September in a shirt printed in the pattern of an American flag, Zaitoun admonished his Republican competitors for mudslinging campaigns he claimed were turning off voters. In the final vote, 60,000 voters turned on to Zaitoun's campaign, giving him a surprisingly respectable 10% of the vote.
Both Republicans and Democrats voted for me as well as independents because they were sick and tired of the old machines and the old ways of running for office. And so if that's kook, hey, kook is good.
Some would say that your candidates are unique, but others would say they're oddballs.
Yes, well, as with every party, we have that problem. We can't control all of our candidates, and anyone who wishes to affiliate with the party can. And it just so happens that there are few options other than the Democrats and the Republicans. The main third party besides them is the Libertarian Party. So we end up finding more than our share, perhaps, of oddballs who think that they're encouraged to just be however they want to be.
As a libertarian candidate, it's difficult to raise enough money to get high enough on the public's radar. It can be a vicious circle. There's not enough money for substantial ads, nor enough to raise your name recognition in the polls, enough to be considered a major candidate, to be included in various forums and televised debates. It only reinforces the image of the libertarian as spoiler, who can do nothing more than take away votes from potential winners. Have you tasted defeat too much at the ballot box?
I don't think we've tasted it too much, but we have tasted it a great deal, and we probably will much more. We realize that we're likely to lose when our candidates run. In fact, we believe our candidates are the most patriotic citizens around because they're not running in general for their egos or to promote themselves or to have the glory of winning. They're running the hard races knowing they're likely to lose, to sacrifice themselves, so to speak, to bring to the public awareness of the only way out of the political problems we have today.
Bill Jacobs has definitely said he's made plans to run. Of course, we have Lee Horn. Michael Perkins has talked to me about running.
Last month, here in Franklin, the Louisiana Libertarian Party Central Committee gathered to assess the gains and losses in recent elections and look ahead to the blockbuster political year to come. Congressional candidates, Libertarians placed candidates in 5 of the 7 congressional contests on the ballot, gave mixed reports on lessons learned from their defeats. Brent Sanders was upbeat about his challenge to 5th District Congressman Rodney Alexander.
Alexander was always cordial. His people were very cordial with me. And by the end of the campaign, he was quoted in the paper saying my positions. And in fact, after our debate, he said he appreciated a lot of things I said, because there's things that he can't say because he didn't answer any questions straightforward. So I believe that he is going to D.C. with some of my ideas, and then that is the victory.
Greg Kahn was less philosophical about his drubbing in the 2nd Congressional District, where he and a field of 10 other candidates challenged incumbent William Jefferson. Kahn brought in less than 0.5% of the vote.
The media pretty much settled down on the 5 major candidates. Their criteria was you had to have spent $250,000 or more to get primary coverage from both the newspaper and the TV outlets. And I had no way of spending that kind of money.
The group agreed that the results of the past year were mixed and moved on to planning for 2007, when the governor, all statewide elected officials, and legislators will be up for re-election. They received a report from T. Lee Horn, who's already hit the campaign trail to unseat Governor Kathleen Blanco. Horn says he decided to run after encountering a staggering amount of red tape trying to settle a family estate.
Right now, the governor's office has many, many committees and many offices within it, where if you walk in and say you want to know what's going on, they hide behind executive privilege or secrecy or what have you. In my government, in my cabinet, in my offices, you as a reporter or Joe over there can come in and at least sit in. Even if we don't have time to answer your questions, there will be sunshine in that room. Everybody needs to know that this government belongs to them.
Samir Zaitoun, by the way, did not attend the meeting, having hit the campaign trail again in the Baton Rouge Senate race to replace newly elected Secretary of State Jay Darden. The party has refused to endorse this run, preferring to back one of the 2 Republican candidates.
It's a free country. You know, what's the endorsement entail?
Doesn't get you much. And you don't mind going a different way from your own party?
Of course. This is the whole idea of being libertarian. I'm independent. I am an independent insurance broker. I am an independent public servant, public citizen.
So now there are growing pains in this party that seems to knit together those pledged to follow the path of the individual. The libertarian approach to elections seems to go against everything any mainstream candidate would seem to want, but in many ways it somehow seems to make sense. When will Zaitoun win?
Oh, it doesn't matter if you win, as long as I am winning as we speak, because I am sharing with the viewers of your show and with the listeners of radio stations and with the readers of newspapers. I'm sharing with the citizens, with the voters of East Baton Rouge Parish and throughout the state my opinion. They like it, they can vote for me. They don't like it, vote for what they have elsewhere.
The Libertarian Party was founded in 1971. It claims more than 200,000 registered voters and more than 600 people in public office. It has more people in office than all other third parties combined.
The Democratic and Republican parties, however, usually capture more than 95% of the vote in the majority of elections.